So again, they're set up beautifully, y equals, because to be able to do substitution, you need a variable by itself. It doesn't have to be y, but it does have to be a variable by itself. In this case, they've just set these up nice and neat with y out there by itself. So 2x squared minus 4x minus 1. And we're going to combine our like terms. Again, we're crossing that big great divide. We'll subtract 2x because it was positive. And so that leaves me with that 4 still over there for the moment. Minus 6x minus 1. We're going to move that 4. It's positive, so we need to subtract it, and we're going to put it with the other constant of that negative 1. So we now have 0 equals a negative 2x squared minus 6x minus 5. This does not look like it has a GCF because 2 and 6 both are divisible by 2, but that 5 messes up our GCF game. So we're going to do this by big star. You could also do, or we're going to try to anyway. Actually, it's not going to work because 2 times 5 is going to give us 10. So my goal is to always use big star because I think it's easier and less work than quadratic formula and usually comes out with nicer, neater answers. But negative 2 times 5 is a 10, and there's no multiples of 10 that will give me back a 6. So then this guy's out the door. But it's worth a shot to check it before we do our quadratic formula. Okay, so again, negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And if you haven't listened to the song enough, I will post it again later. If you need to memorize this formula because you don't have it memorized, the song is just obnoxious enough that it will 110% stick. I promise. All right, so we're going to plug in b. So this is our a, this is our b, this is our c. It's a negative b again, going into a negative spot. So it's going to become a positive b plus or minus the square root of negative 6 squared minus 4. A is a negative 2 and C is a negative 5 all over 2 times a negative 2, 2a. So again, I'm going to probably write more than you're going to be willing to write, but just so you know where all the numbers are coming from. So 6 plus or minus the square root of 36, because negative 6 times negative 6 is 36. And then 4 times negative 2, or negative 4 times a negative 2, you can do it either way. It's going to be a positive 8 times a negative 5. It's going to give me a negative 40 all over negative 4. And then that's going to give me 6 plus or minus the square root of negative 4 over negative 4. At this point, you're going to stop because there's no way that these are going to cross. Imaginary solutions, like for them to actually cross, you have to see them. Imaginary solutions on a graph are in another plane, like a totally different dimension, for lack of a better word. But so they kind of sit out in a 3-dimensional, but on a 2-dimensional graph, like a coordinate plane. That right there, that negative, lets you know that at this point, and we're going to change our vocabulary, it's no real solution. So not that there is no solution necessarily, because algebraically there is, but to this conversation, there's no real solution to this problem. All right, guys, that's 2 of them. Hope you got them down.